you can have a product that can truly change someone's life, I think that's an incredibly powerful product. I can't tell you how long we put into research and development for this. Most liquid carnitine is around 1,500 milligrams. We have a 2,000 milligram blend of 4 different types of liquid carnitine. We also have GBB, so you're actually going to be burning fat after you consume this product. This is going to make you sweat. This is going to make you not want to stop. You are going to perform like you've never performed before, and I can promise you that.
From the virtual Rockingham Speedway here in Rockingham, California. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the round number 3 of the Core Vintage Cup Series live on Racecraft TV. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Joining me alongside is Jordan Hicks, and I do need to correct, we are in North Carolina, the famous Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina, one of the most historic tracks in all of NASCAR, and we are here in the virtual world, and this is really the only place where racing still exists here at Rockingham, and it's awesome to see these virtual classic NASCAR Cup Series cars take to the track in the virtual space at Rockingham. But this track virtually pretty much the same as it is in real life. Chews up tires, spits them out. A very difficult track to get the handle of. Lots of bumps, high banks, but it is going to be an exciting race around this track that's just slightly under 1 mile in length, but it creates some very exciting racing, and we're glad you're here for round number 3 of the championship. Now, speaking of that championship, the standings are just starting to heat up as Carl Handwerk, after last week in Darlington, grabs the early points lead. 352.5 points for Carl Handwerk. Then it's Chris Hamilton who lost that points lead. He's now down with 345 points in second. Nick Nickerson is tied for that second place spot with 345 points as well. And looking down the bottom of the order, 323.5 for Andrew Gunther, Willie Evernham with 298. That's your top 5 in the championship as we get ready to go racing. But Jordan, taking a look early at the qualifying times, where through and done with qualifying. We're getting ready to go racing now. Just waiting for that clock to expire on the lone qualifying session. 13 cars have taken time. 3 have not. We have 16 cars ready to take the grid. Just taking a look at those times and who's up front right now. Who are you watching to possibly be in the fight for the win tonight?
You know, I'm definitely having my eyes locked on Nick Nickerson running a 23.91. And especially the 2 following behind him, Eric Andrews of the 9 car and Dylan McDonald of the 38 car. So definitely going to keep my eyes on them as they have the top 3 fastest times here at Rockingham.
And they are currently your top 3 with Wesley Fuller and Paul Butler rounding out your top 5. But here in a moment, we're going to go through the entire starting grid for today's race. And we're glad you're joining us here on Racecraft TV, round number 3 of the Core Vintage Cup Series Championship. And as the clock continues to wind down here in qualifying, it is a very bright late afternoon here in Rockingham. The weather starting to go down a little bit in the sims. 71 degree air temp, track temp only 72 degrees, which is on the cooler side of track temps we're used to seeing here on the iRacing service. No clouds in the sky today though, so they're not going to get any help from cloud cover, and it currently is reaching 7:20 sim time as the sim time will continue to wind down throughout the race. And we're getting ready to take to the grid here for the Rockingham Speedway. And next week, we will be at North Wilkesboro, another very famous racetrack in the classic NASCAR Cup Series. But today, we're here for the Eastern Carolina 100 at Rockingham Speedway. The time will expire here on qualifying, and it is time to meet that starting grid for the race here today. Nick Nickerson starts on the pole with a 23.905. Eric Andrews in second. Dylan McDonald in third. Wesley Fuller fourth, with Paul Butler rounding out your top five. Christopher Hamilton will start in sixth. Jimmy Covert in seventh. Matt Crockett eighth. Dave Lohr ninth, with Anthony Kesswetter rounding out your top 10. Then it's Mark Thomas and Brock Varese in row number 6 in 11th and 12th. Looking down the rest of the order, we have we have James Perchalski, Andrew Gunther, Carl Handwerk, your current points leader, and Willie Evernham rounding out the 16 cars that we're going to have taking the green flag here today at Rockingham. Great field of drivers ready to take to the virtual Rockingham Speedway as we get ready for those pace laps to commence. And we already previewed who you're really watching, Jordan, but we saw at Darlington it was a very long race with a lot of different leaders and a lot of people going from the back to the front all night. Are you expecting more of the same here at Rockingham, or are you expecting them to maybe take it a little bit more calm?
I'm definitely going to expect the same thing from Darlington because, like you said earlier, this track is a tire eater, so a lot of these drivers, once again, are going to have to think of what they want to do, be very strategic on what they want to do, like to actually remain on the track. So, speaking of switching out tires, fueling their cars up, but I don't really think they'll need to fuel up, so I think tires are the key factor. But these drivers are definitely, like I said, very strategic and very strict mindset, and so definitely those top three are going to be what I'm looking forward to, and the battles are just going to get started, and let's go racing, I guess.
The field going to make their way through turns 3 and 4, 2 by 2 behind the iRacing.com pace car. Once again, we're glad you're here on Racecraft TV as we get ready to go racing from the famous Rockingham Speedway. Pace car going to pull into the safety of pit lane, and it's time to go racing. Let's hit the loud pedal and let's go racing from virtual Rockingham. Great start for the 2 car. They're going to take an early lead down into turn number 1, side by side now for the 3rd spot between Eric Andrews and Paul Butler. That's Butler trying to make it happen on the inside. He's going to try and get ahead of the 9 car. They're still side by side as they go back into turn 3.
Tremendous battle right now for 3rd and 4th. And, you know, a lot of these drivers, as you saw, going into that first turn, they're a little sort of, how should I word it? A little sideways, as so taking that inside line is definitely going to be key. And so it looks like the 68 car of Paul Butler has taken over. But it looks like we already got our first wreck, which I think might bring out our first caution of lap number 2. Let's look at the replay on that, because it looked like they got into each other a little bit. And so it looks like the car of Wesley Fuller, not too sure. Or maybe not. I might have the wrong thing.
It definitely is Wesley Fuller in the 35. Taps the wall coming out of turn number 2. And that's very unfortunate wreck. And he's going to collect the 14 of Jimmy Covert as well. Nothing the 14 could do in that incident. Let's go on board with the 14 of Jimmy Covert. And you can see just Fuller comes down, absolutely nowhere for the 14 to go. We'll take you back to a little bit but before the incident as well, because Fuller was running the outside line fairly ahead of Wesley Fuller, or sorry, fairly ahead of Jimmy Covert. Taps the wall, and there goes the 14 right into him. So definitely not the type of early incident that we wanted to see there, but we go back live, and there's Wesley Fuller currently sitting in pit road, but the rest of the field currently pacing behind the iRacing.com pace car as an early caution comes out on lap number 2. Going to give ample time for the field to regroup, and didn't look like we had any takers for pit road out of our leaders, but looks like we had a couple guys in the back come in. That's Anthony Kesswetter in the 34. He's in for 4 tires. Same thing with Brock Varese. Carl Handwerk makes his stop in the 18. Willie Evernham is also in. And then, of course, the 2 drivers that got damaged from that wreck, Jimmy Covert and Wesley Fuller are currently in pit road, getting damage repaired. But it looks like an early stop for tires between the rest of the field there that decided to come in. First off pit road was Carl Handwerk. He currently sits back in 11th place. So the top 10 not making their way down pit road. They're going to start as they were under the caution, with the 2 car leading them back to the green flag. And it looks like lights are out of the pace car. We're going back racing this time by single file restarts here in the Vintage Cup Series, using very similar format rules to the old Winston Cup Series here in NASCAR. Double file restarts didn't become a thing until 2010. From there on, it was single file restarts up at the top of the racetrack, with the inside line being full of any cars that were one lap down or more. Anyone on the lead lap will be in the outside line. Of course, different now, where all the lead lap cars are up front and all the lap down cars are towards the back of the field, and they start 2 by 2. But here it's single file, and they're getting ready to go back to racing. The 2 car, Nick Nickerson, going to lead them back to the green flag. Dylan McDonald in second. Paul Butler third. Eric Andrews fourth. Christopher Hamilton rounds out your top 5 in the 64. We're going racing on to lap number 6. The pace car pulls down into pit lane. McDonald gives a little bit of a shove to the 2 car, gets him out in front early. Paul Butler now sits in third, but he's going to have a challenge from Eric Andrews. Here comes the 9 car to the inside. Going to push up the racetrack a little bit. He keeps it on that inside line. They're still side by side as they work their way down the back straightaway.
Definitely a tough battle right there for, I'm pretty sure, 3rd and 4th as the 9 car and the 68 car. So, coming back onto the front stretch as they're literally bumper to bumper, going into turns 1 and 2. Definitely going to the 9 car definitely gonna have to hold off that spot, as he's got definitely a few laps remaining with those not messing up a lot, and don't really know what to say. It's a little rough, but coming back on that front stretch, as the 9 car's got a pretty big gap in front of the 68 car of Paul Butler.
So Andrews keeps on to the 3rd spot. Paul Butler now going to have a little bit of a battle between him and the 64 of Christopher Hamilton back in the 5th spot. They work their way back down the back straightaway. The 2 car, Nick Nickerson, still your leader as we work on to lap number 9. Now here at Rockingham, there's 2nd place, Dylan McDonald in the 38. And he's lost a bit of time to the leader. About 9.5 tenths separate the top 2 as they work their way on lap number 9. Looks like a bit of a scrap going on back here mid-pack, and Carl Handwerk working his way up through the field. He started back in 11th on this restart, and after getting some fresh tires in pit road, showing just how quickly those fresh tires can do you a world of good, as he is now pulling away from Andrew Gunther, who is battling with Matt Crockett. This is the battle for 7th place on the racetrack, as the 59 of Andrew Gunther going to run right on by Matt Crockett in the 10. Will Crockett have anything to say about it? Let's go on board with Matt Crockett going through the corner. And we'll see what he can do as they work their way through 3 and 4. Trying to get that good run off the corner. He's on that inside line. He'll take lap 11 coming across the line that time by, and he dives it back into turn number 1. You can see just how much work he's putting into the steering. The tires are screaming as he works his way through the corner. That is how these tires burn up so quickly here at Rockingham, as they have to put so much work into that steering wheel to get it to turn. These are tight, high-banked corners that you really need to work at. Very abrasive surface, a lot of bumps. That causes these tires to shred away so incredibly quickly. And we're seeing that right now from the 10 of Matt Crockett. But we still are under green flag conditions. We only have 1 caution of the day so far, as we work on lap number 12 and on to 13, as there's your leader, the number 2 of Nick Nickerson. Eric Andrews has had no pressure from Paul Butler, but here's Christopher Hamilton in the 64. He's right back behind the 68 of Butler. So he makes his way out of turn number 2, gets a little bit too close up to the wall, has to get out of the gas. And here comes the 64, Christopher Hamilton. They're back side by side, working their way through turn 3 and 4, and Hamilton is going to take over the 4th spot. What a great move from the 64. Now Hamilton going to continue to work his way through turns 1 and 2. And he's trying to keep Paul Butler behind him once again. And here comes Carl Handwerk to join this fight. And once again, Handwerk pitted under that first caution. So he has slightly better tires than the rest of the field. But remember, the caution came out about a lap and a half into the race. So not too much of a difference between his tires. But it looks like he didn't take a qualifying time. And he started closer to the back. And it looks like we're finally seeing that raw speed out of the 18 that we expected he would have. He was very fast in practice. But unfortunately, did not put down a qualifying time. We couldn't see what he had in qualifying trim, but now that he's in race trim, that 18 car is flying up through the field as we're going to go on board with the 18. He's going to go right to the inside of the 68 of Butler as Butler had to get out of the gas. He got tight going through the corner. So now the 18 of Carl Handwerk will take over in the 5th spot. He punches his ticket into the top 5. And we're going to go on board for this lap from Carl Handwerk.
You can definitely see the car fighting to actually stay on the bottom line, but a lot of great passes so far here at Rockingham. These drivers are navigating it so well to a point where it doesn't even look like they're even struggling that hard. But you know, Handwerk is definitely running a solid line right now, trying to catch up to the few in front of him, which is the 64 car of Christopher Hamilton, and in front of him, the 9 of Eric Andrews. So definitely running some pretty nice laps here at Rockingham, and hopefully he can do some more, and he seems like he's catching up to the 64 car. So going on to lap 20. Let's see what he can do.
And Handwerk, one of the most experienced drivers in the field. He knows a variety of cars, and we saw him win last night in the Core Premier Series behind the wheel of a Pro late model on dirt at Limaland. So he knows his way around multiple cars, and it's awesome to see from Handwerk as he is trying to work his way around the 64, and right now he's getting into that period of the tires that is starting to burn up a lot, and it looks like a caution is out on the racetrack. I believe Willie Evernham is around. Yes, he is. He's around on the back straightaway. What happened to the 19 of Willie Evernham as he comes out of turn 2, gets a little bit too far up and hits the wall? Did anybody else get damage? Oh my, who is that on the inside getting right on by? I think that might have been the 34. We'll take another look at this wreck here, as it looks like the 19 just got a little bit too far up coming out of the corner, and once he hit that wall, it got sucked into it, and I'm not sure who that was trying to get around the 9. Oh my, that was another car. I believe that was a 94 of Brock Varese. Yes, it was. Who had to slam on his brakes to make sure that he didn't run into him. Was it the 10 of Matt Crockett that I believe had a narrowing miss of that wreck? No, it was not. I'm trying to figure out who that was because it was extremely close. That might have been James Perchalski. Actually, it might have been the 17. There was one car that narrowly got by. I was trying to find him because that onboard would have been a great thing to look at. But we have cars in pit road. Gunther stays out. It looks like more cars making their way down pit road. The 2 is in. The 38 is in. Dave Lauren, the 17, also going to stay out. But Nickerson, McDonald, Andrews, Hamilton, Handwerk, Butler, Crockett, Thomas, Perchalski, Varys, Kaiswetter, Fuller and Evernham cannot come in. They're both one lap down. They got to wait. And Jimmy Covert has been in pit road since the first caution. So, under the second caution of the day, we're seeing more cars coming down pit road. We'll get you the race off of pit road. Who's going to make their way out of pit road first? This right side tires going up on each of these cars. And here they come out of the pit lane. It's going to be the 2 car of Nick Nickerson who will keep the lead, but the 18 of Handwerk is going to beat out Christopher Hamilton and Eric Andrews. That's your other 3 spots, and then Matt Crockett and Paul Butler. Sorry, Butler and then Crockett coming out of the pit lane. So that's your race off pit road. We're going to take a short break here on Racecraft TV, but do not go anywhere because when we come back, we'll have the green flag from Rockingham. Stick around.
We needed more. More from our bodies, more from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end.
But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
And it delivers more.
Welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway. We are going right back to racing here at the virtual Rockingham Speedway. We're under caution for the second time today, but the green flag is back out on to lap number 25. As immediately out front, it's Nick Nickerson. Another great jump for the 2-car. He's led every single lap today, but here comes Carl Handwerk. He has gained 13 spots since the start of the race. He didn't take a qualifying time. He started way back in 15th, and he's now up to 2nd place, trying to rival for the lead. But Christopher Hamilton in the 64, he lost the points lead after Darlington. He has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to get another win. He already has won this season at the season opener when we went to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, but he is looking for more as he is working in 3rd place. But we're taking a look at Carl Handwerk right now as the gap between 1st and 2nd is also continuing to grow. And that is not what Handwerk needs. It's about a 1.5 seconds now as Handwerk tries to look ahead to Nick Nickerson in the 2, but just looks like that gap not closing at all right now as we go on board. Still staying about 1.4 seconds back is Handwerk. And he just cannot get that gap closed much more, and he needs to protect those tires. These guys came down during the last stop for tires, and that was for a lot of them the first tire stop they took of the day. It was Handwerk's 2nd tire stop as he pitted during caution number 1. We've had 2 cautions so far today, but we're easily nearing halfway done. And these guys have not been involved in any major wrecks yet. The largest wreck we've had today is only 2 cars getting hooked together coming out of turn number 2. The other one was a single car incident to bring out our last caution, and Handwerk is gonna get loose coming out of turn number 2. Everybody having issues coming out of turn 2. We saw 2 cars hit the wall, and now we're seeing cars get loose coming out of 2. This Rockingham Speedway throwing so many curveballs at these drivers. So the battle for the lead going to stay roughly the same place as it is. As it looks like we have a bit of a battle going on back here, but the caution is back out. 1 car around. That's Mark Thomas in the 50. Tough break for Mark Thomas.
Gonna take a look at what actually happened there. You see him up on the top line.
Oh, contact with the car under him. Not sure who that was.
They may have bumped, not too sure actually.
That was the 59 car of Andrew Gunther into the corner.
Ooh, they just got too close.
What it looked to me is like Mark Thomas thought the 59 was going to go a little bit lower going into the corner, and they tapped going in because the 59 didn't go as low as the 50 might have hoped or thought. Let's take a look a little bit closer, and it definitely looks like the 59 was coming up, the 50 was going down, and they'd met in the middle. Definitely a racing incident. I'm not sure you can really put blame on anybody there, Jordan.
It just seems like one of the drivers were in the other's blind spot, so it's a simple mistake. It happens as long as it wasn't too bad of a wreck. I know he got completely spun, but at the end of the day, he might be back out unless he is in the pits. Not too sure, but we'll see if he can make it back out before the green flag.
Well, he's currently sitting at the front of this pace line, and that is because he has not come down pit road just yet. So he will be getting either dropped to the back or waved around the pace car, just depending on what the iRacing stewards do or the Core Vintage Cup Series officials decide to do with the 50 of Mark Thomas. But we are working the third caution of the night. And it's another opportunity for a couple of drivers to come down pit road. It doesn't look like a lot are choosing to. Berchalski comes out of pit road. Handwork pitted again. That is his third pit stop in 3 cautions, and I believe he took tires also during this caution. See if I can just get a replay of what his pit stop was, because it definitely looked to be a 4-tire stop just looking at the time. And if that was a 4-tire stop, that is the third caution of the night and the third pit stop for Handwork to take tires tonight. He is definitely choosing the strategy of any opportunity to take tires. I'm going to do that. But Jordan, now he's all the way back down in 8th. Can he make those positions up without burning up the tires is the question.
You know, it's definitely going to impact him, as it's going to put him back down to 8th. So from what it seems, I'm pretty sure he can make his way back up. But depending on how the track treats him, there could be another caution, and he could get caught up in that. But as we are almost ready to go green, I'm pretty sure the lights are still on the pace car. If not, then we're ready to go green. But personally, I really think Handwork can make it back up to the top.
Lights are looking to go out of the pace car this time by. Mark Thomas is 1 lap down. And it looks like he will get waved around the pace car. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind the pace car, and I believe he'll be starting on the inside line of this restart, which will mean he will be put 1 lap down to join Wesley Fuller, Willie Evernham, and Jimmy Covert. No, he is going to receive a wave around, so Mark Thomas will keep his spot on the lead lap. And Wesley Fuller, Willie Evernham, and Jimmy Covert will stay the only cars that are not currently on the lead lap. And you can see the 14 of Covert lining up down there, also the 19 of Evernham lining up down there, and Wesley Fuller in the 35, currently sitting at the tail end of the longest line, as they'll make their way back into turn number 3. Lap 35 when we go back to racing. 34 laps completed out of the day. We have a total race distance of 100 laps here tonight. Looking to get it all in here on Racecraft TV as the lights are out on the pace car. It's going to pull back down into the safety of pit lane. And here we go as Nick Nickerson once again in control of the field and back racing from the Rockingham Speedway. Christopher Hamilton now going to have to deal with that lap car of Jimmy Covert. He will get around him pretty easily, but Paul Butler going to get held up. It looks like he wanted to go to the inside, did not have an opportunity as Covert stays down there. There goes the 19 up to the top line. Now the 2 cars that are a lap down are side by side. Here comes Eric Andrews, completely roadblocked. This is going to have an opportunity for the top 3 to pull away. And those top 3 are going to pull away as look at these lapped cars. They cannot get around them. That's Andrews, McDonald, Crockett, all just sitting back there. Nothing they are able to do as the battle continues further back. This is the battle for 8th between Gunther and the 99 of Perschalski. That's about for 7th. The 17 of Dave Lord losing a lot of spots up on the outside. That allowed Handwork and the 35 of Wesley Fuller, who is a lap down, to get by him. And look at Fuller on fresh tires. He's trying to get his lap back. And he is trying to dice his way through the field right now. Not exactly working out how he wants it to, as he's going to also reach a roadblock. As now Andrew Gunther sits in 7th, and Handwork is the next lead lap car fighting for position. This is the battle for 7th, but they have a lapped car in between them.
You know, this race is definitely getting interesting, as a lot of the drivers are having a little bit of lap traffic. And, you know, the 35 car of Wesley Fuller trying to get his lap back, and he's still getting caught in traffic in general. But going on lap 39, and it does not look like he will get it back, as he's going to remain behind the rest of the pack.
We continue to take a look at this battle. Now Matt Crockett is going to join it. He is the current 6th place car, and here comes Gunther down to the inside in the 59. He will get clear, albeit barely, using up that line. And Handwork is going to try and push his way down to the inside now, trying to get by the number 10 Alpine Stars car of Matt Crockett. That Core Racing League number 18 pointed down on the bottom of the racetrack, and he will get by him. Matt Crockett loses 2 spots. He's down into 8th, and Handwork, trying to regain his positions, is now up to 7th and closer to Andrew Gunther than he was previously. Handwork going to use all the amount of track that he has up on the top of the racetrack to try and get a slingshot. Now he's going to have to try and navigate himself around the 14 of Jimmy Covert while trying to pass Andrew Gunther in the 59. You're on board. Using that outside line once again to try and work his way around. It just doesn't look like he is able to get that car pointed the direction he needs to be able to get by the 59. This battle is brewing on for 6th. And here comes Handwork now to the inside. The 59 goes high. Handwork's car definitely handling a lot better on the inside, and he completes the pass. Put Handwork up to 6th in the 18. He now takes over the spot. You now have to look forward to Paul Butler for 5th. But look at the battle for 2nd heating up. This is Hamilton on the outside, Andrews inside. The battle for the 2nd place. And here comes Dylan McDonald. It's a 3-way fight as they come off 4. Now the 64 and the 38 of Hamilton and McDonald are going to go side by side. They're battling for 3rd as Andrews takes over the 2nd spot. McDonald now up to 3rd. Hamilton falls to 4th, but McDonald's not done with Andrews. He's right on the back bumper trying to get into 2nd place.
A lot of close racing. Like we said at the start, the 38 car is literally riding the bumper, like you said, Josh, of the 9 car. And you know, this top 3 or well, 2nd through 4th are having a crazy battle for those positions here on the backstretch, as the 38 car gets a little squirrely on the backstretch, and you know, going on the inside, trying to make up ground on the 9 car, but seems like he's getting away and going on lap 46 here at Rockingham.
And this fight is still going on as these guys run so close together. We'll give you an update on your leader. It's the number 2 of Nick Nickerson. He currently holds a about 2-second gap over 2nd place. 2nd place is the 9 of Eric Andrews. And he holds that 1st place, but not for long as another caution is out. Who went around, I believe, is the 50 of Mark Thomas again on the back straightaway. This is a bad dream turning into a nightmare for the 50 of Mark Thomas. Let's go take a look at a replay. Perschalski goes a little too far up the track into the wall.
Completely rolls it over the roof of that car. Seems like he got tapped the littlest bit, and you know, such little can do so much things here at Rockingham. And you can clearly see that it literally sent him over the roof on the backstretch and into the wall.
On board with Perschalski. And there it is. Maybe you could argue Mark Thomas didn't give him much room, but Przchalski did evidently work his way up the racetrack. We have cars in pit road, however, as it looks like everybody's going to come in. Andrews is in. McDonald, Hamilton, your leader, Nick Nickerson is in. Handwork, Butler, Gunther, Crockett, Kesswetter, Veris, Przchalski, Lohr. Of course, the driver involved in that wreck, Mark Thomas. Wesley Fuller has to stay out. And same thing with Willie Evernham as they are multiple laps down. But here we go as the race off pit road. Left side tires going up on each of these drivers. And we're going to take a look and see what is going to happen with the race off of pit road. Will Nickerson be able to keep his spot? No, he's not. Eric Andrews gets out first. Man, what a pit stop from the 9 car. Taking a look at the times in pit road, the 54.17 for the 9 and a 54.95 for the 2. So a very fast pit stop from the 9. He ekes out that win out of pit road. And we're going to take a quick break here on Racecraft TV, and then we'll be right on back for the remainder of this race. You're watching the Core Vintage Cup Series live on Racecraft TV.
Anytime you can have a product that can truly change someone's life, I think that's an incredibly powerful product. I can't tell you how long we put into research and development for this. Most liquid carnitine is around 1,500 milligrams. We have a 2,000 milligram blend of 4 different types of liquid carnitine. We also have GBB, so you're actually going to be burning fat after you consume this product. This is going to make you sweat. This is going to make you not want to stop. You are going to perform like you've never performed before, and I can promise you that.
Welcome to our music festival, Mark. Welcome to our music festival, Mark.
Welcome back to the virtual Rockingham Speedway. Currently working under caution, and a great race off pit road as Eric Andrews grabs the lead away from the 2 car of Nick Nickerson. And that is going to make a bit of a change in the race, because the 2 car has led since the outset. He has led every single lap tonight. Of course, now in the exception is these laps under caution. But will the 2 car be able to get back around the 9 of Andrews is the current question. And it's a good question to ask, because we've only seen the 2 car out in front in clean air. We haven't seen him deal with dirty air yet tonight. Will this be the moment that the 2 car of Nickerson falls back down the order? We'll have to take a look, as he has led every single lap. He started on pole and hasn't let that first spot go. That car has been a rocket ship in clean air. But will it continue to be a rocket ship now that he doesn't have that clean air? We are halfway done with this race. We're going on to lap number 51. And we are ready to go back to racing here from Rockingham. And we're going to let you hear the sounds of the cars as we go on board with the 2 for the start. The dirty air did not affect the 2 at all. He's already back into the lead here on lap number 52 and pulling away at that from Eric Andrews. What a start from the 2. Now here comes Dylan McDonald. He's going to try and work his way around Eric Andrews. Now the question is, how fast is that 9? But oh, we're back under caution. Who is around? It looks like we might have a multi-car incident. Evernham with damage. Oh, and the 50 of Mark Thomas once again, I think, was involved in this one. Here's the replay. 4-car scrap towards the back. 19 dives it into the corner. Doesn't look like he was able to make the corner, however, and around they went in turn 3.
Completely just spun him right around, and taking a look at the replay once again, The 19 car just completely just smashed the whole entire rear end of the 50 car. But I guess karma got him back because it got him right into the wall on turns 3 and 4, as we're still under caution here at Rockingham with lap 53 of 100.
And the 2 car had an explosive start there, and we saw him get to the back bumper in turn 2, make the pass before he even entered turn 3. So a great run right now from Nick Nickerson out there in front. And he has Eric Andrews behind him now on this start, but I'm thinking this too is going to continue to lead this race, because it seemed like even when you put him in second behind another car, he was just able to get around him so easily. I think he is definitely the car to beat, and I think it's going to be his race to lose tonight. But I do want to talk about Carl Handwerk here for a second, because the 18 has been from the back to the front to the back to the front, and I believe he went to the back one more time after one of these cautions, and he's trying to work his way back up to the front. He's currently up in 4th. He's gained 11 spots from where he started, but I think if you take a look at total passes, he has extended over 30 so far tonight, as he has worked his way from the back to the front so many times under green flag conditions here at Rockingham. He has an insanely fast hot rod, and right now it doesn't look like he is able to get up to the front, but it just looks like the field has been spacing out so much under the green flag. So we continue to work our way under caution. The 2 car continues to lead the way. Rounding out top 5 is the 64 of Christopher Hamilton. Now, Christopher Hamilton led before the first round last week in Darlington, and then at that race, he did not have a good finish whatsoever. That put him down into second in the points, 7.5 back from your new points leader, who coincidentally is the car in front of him on the racetrack right now, Carl Handwerk. And he is tied with the 2, your current leader of this race, for that second spot as well, with 345 total points. So as we get ready to go back to racing, the 64 racing for more points, the 18 racing for the ability to keep that points lead. The 2 is racing to try and get the points lead as well. Andrew Gunther is in the fight for the points lead. He's up here in this battle. Yeah, you can go as far down as Paul Butler. He's in 7th. He's also in the battle for this championship. 55.5 points back from the lead. He can make up a lot of points if he gets a good finish here tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see. Everybody on this racetrack is racing for something right now. If they're not thinking about the points, they are thinking about winning this race and trying to win that race. And we're getting ready to go back to racing. The 94 will line up on the inside line along with the 14 of Jimmy Covert. That's Brock Varese in the 94. And they are lining up on that inside because in these single file restarts, any driver 1 lap down who does not have a penalty to start at the tail end of the longest line will be starting on that inside line. As we get ready to go back to racing, pace car going to pull down into the safety of pit lane once again. And we are back underway here at the Rockingham Speedway. On to lap number 57. The 2 car, Nick Nickerson, continues to lead the way. And already a scrap going on back here. This is the battle for 3rd between Handwerk and McDonald. And now it's quickly turned into a battle between lap cars as I hear some carnage going on further back. Another caution is out. Who was involved back here? The yellow flag is out, but I don't see any damaged race cars. Very curious at what happened. It sounded like it came from further back. But I'm not exactly sure. Here's the moment of yellow. Oh, the 99 of James Perchalski gets turned around. But that seemed like a very quick caution to come out. It just looks like they get into each other, but a quick 360. I'd give it a 9.5. A great 360 from the 99 of James Perchalski. But I don't know if that was exactly worthy of a yellow flag. But wait, nonetheless, we are under a yellow flag now here at Rockingham, but Great pirouette maneuver there from the 99. We'll take a look at it one more time and we'll go on board. Perfectly turned around. But nonetheless, the caution is back out. And we're going to take another short break here on Racecraft TV, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, it's the restart from Rockingham.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack with energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end.
But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it refresh technology.
And it delivers more.
Lights are out atop the iRacing.com pace car as we get ready to go back to racing from the Darlington Raceway. We're glad you're joining us here on Racecraft TV. As your current leader, the number 2 of Nick Nickerson has really led since the outset. I believe the only laps he hasn't led were 2 or 3 under caution when Eric Andrews got out of pit road before him, but on the first green flag lap, he grabbed that lead back and has not let it go since. So a great run from the 2 so far tonight. And he's trying to keep that going here as we get ready to go back to racing here at Rockingham. We'll give you the best laps of the race so far from each driver up on our timing ticker up at the top of your screen. And we get ready to go back to racing. 39 laps to go here from Rockingham as the field continues to pace by in the iRacing.com pace car, and it'll make its way down into the safety of pit road. And we are back underway here in the Core Vintage Cup Series. The 2 car continues to lead the way. And here comes Matt Crockett. He's going to try and get by the 9 of Eric Andrews for the second spot, but will he be able to do it? No, that side draft coming from that lap down car. That's the 94 of Brock for Bariz on the inside, and he's gonna pull way down out of the way of these leaders, but that ruined that run for Matt Crockett going through turns 1 and 2. Now here comes Anthony Keiswetter to try and get some more spots, but side by side it's Handwerk and Dylan McDonald, or sorry, Handwerk and Przchalski. Przchalski now 1 lap down after that caution. Here's McDonald working around the outside of Przchalski, with Christopher Hamilton now working around the outside of the 99 down the back straightaway. But Handwerk trying to put some work in now. Another lap down car of Jimmy Covert up ahead. As these leaders further back having to deal with these lap machines, and you can see just how much that gap widens between your leader of the 2 and the rest of the field. As the 2 car comes out of turn number 2, there's 4th place Anthony Keiswetter. There's Christopher Hamilton, and they're all just now working their way down the back straightaway. as Handwork tries to work around Anthony Keiswetter, and he will. Now Keiswetter going to go back to battle with Dylan McDonald, and McDonald is able to eke his way by coming out of turn number 4. Great move from either of them. They both move up the order into 4th and 5th respectively. Keiswetter down to 6th. Nick Nickerson continues to lead the way here at the Rockingham Speedway. Eric Andrews in second. We'll take a look at this gap right now. It's about 8 tenths. And Eric Andrews just trying his best to get this lead, and he had it on a restart a little bit earlier on after one of our cautions. But unfortunately, since then, he has been falling considerably, not down the order. He stayed in the 2nd spot, but he hasn't been able to gain any time on the leader. And he dives it back into turn number 1, and that 9 car keeping that gap about 8.5 tenths. It goes down to about 9 tenths, goes as low as 8 tenths, but you can just see him struggling to really make up any considerable ground on the leader up ahead. Something interesting I do want to point out is that when we're on board with these drivers, you can hear them on the front straightaway feathering that throttle. And something unique about the Rockingham Speedways, you might have noticed it, is that front straightaway is a little bit curved. It has a kink in it. Similar to how Charlotte has 2 kinks, Texas and Atlanta the same way. But here with these cars, they have so little downforce that you have to pedal it through there, as the 99 Perchalski is around and sideways on the back straightaway.
Gonna take a look at what actually happened there with the 99 car. Might have actually gotten loose on his own. And yes, he did. And right into the wall. Spinning him all the way around. So again, let's take an onboard shot this time. Coming out of turns 3 and 4, and just has a little too much momentum coming out of the turn. And completely hits the back wall on the backstretch.
Well, Perchalski is going to come down into the pit lane to get some damage repaired, and so is everybody else. All cars making their way down pit lane this time by, except for the 18 of Carl Handwork. Now, Jordan, I talked about this earlier, how Handwork, during pretty much every caution in the first half of this race, was coming in for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. I think this might be the first caution, maybe the 2nd or 3rd, but this is the one that we've really noticed where he is one of the only cars staying out. Only Butler and Lore are joining him in staying out under this caution. Is this a sudden strategy change from Carl Handwork? I'm not sure exactly what he's thinking, but do you think this will work out good for him? Those tires are a few laps old.
What I'm thinking is he's going to save it to the next caution, and that could be not a lap from now, a few laps from now, many laps from now. So within the next 5-10 minutes, maybe, depending on how much longer the race actually goes on for. So I'm pretty sure he's saving it for possibly those final few laps. And honestly, I think it's kind of, sort of a good idea. Maybe not, because depending on what lap they are on, he could be so far back. But if he's got a good 15 laps remaining, which we're coming down to the wire, may be a good idea, but it's all part of his strategy, and from what it seems like, it may work out.
Well, the field continuing to pace behind the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car. And we'll get ready to go back to racing. The 2 car of Nick Nickerson won the race off pit road, and he currently sits in 4th. This is the farthest down that he has been all day. He hasn't been as far. The farthest he's been down before this was only P2, as he lost the race off pit road to Eric Andrews during one of our earlier cautions, but he immediately got that lead back. So interesting for Nick Nickerson, as he now sits in 4th. He's going to have to deal with 3 cars ahead of him, one of them being Handwork, one of them being Butler, one of them being Dave Lore. The huge question I'm wondering is, how is that car going to deal with multiple cars in front of him? Because we've seen Dirty Air be a bit of a storyline tonight. Maybe not majorly, but dirty air definitely has been a thing that has been affecting these cars. Jordan, are you expecting him to do the same thing he did with the 9 and get by them all quickly, or this could spell the end of a good race for the 2?
You know, from the restarts he's had, I honestly feel like he will, just depending on how he gets the restart. So he could be caught completely off guard by everybody, but from what he's been doing the whole race tonight, I personally feel like he can.
Well, here we go as the field works down the back straightaway for the final time under the pace car. And we'll get ready to go back to racing. Just past the 30 laps to go mark. We're on 29 to go now. We'll be at 28 to go this time by when we take the green flag. Leading the field to the line is Carl Handwerk. This is the first time that he will lead under green this entire night. He worked his way back from 15th. That's where he started. He went from the back to the front, to the back to the front. Now he's going to try and stay at the front as he's off and underway under the green flag. And here they come now through turn number 1. Where's the 2? He's already worked his way around Dylan McDonald in the 38. Or sorry, Dave Lohr in the 17. Lohr's falling like a rock on the outside line. He's going to continue to fall all the way to the back as here comes the 2 trying to work his way around Paul Butler. But here comes the 38 of McDonald. He's going to try and get by him as well. Now they race. They're 2x2 up ahead. That's Butler going side by side with the lapped car of Jimmy Covert. He's going to stay a lap down as the leader of Handwerk tries to pull away. Look at this gap already. We're going to take a look at Paul Butler, but he's in a battle with the 2 car, Nick Nickerson, down to the inside. He grabs second place. Now he's back into familiar territory with 26 laps to go. We'll take a look at this gap. It's 1.5 seconds. Can the 2 make it up here in just 26 laps, assuming we don't end up in another caution? But now the 2 car, he made up a little bit of a gap. He's made up already 3/10. Can he get that lead back? It's one thing to close the gap. It's another thing to pass the car. Great sound on board as you can hear that throttle input from the 2 working his way down the back straightaway. Dives it back into turn 3. That gap is already closed. It's already down to 5/10. Back into turn number 1. We're going to stay on board because you can see that gap really starting to close in Handwerk. Starting to hear the Jaws music in his headset right now as here comes the 2. Can he get the lead back? He's led since the outset. These are the first laps under green that he has not led tonight. And here they come down the front straightaway. Here comes the 2 car to the outside. Can he get by the 18? They're side by side through 1 and 2. Out of turn 2. Side by side now down the back straightaway. Who's going to lead when they come across the line? Handwerk working the inside. Nickerson working the outside. Can he get by him? They're still side by side. But at the line, the 2 car leads. He's back to the front.
What a crazy battle within the first and second positions drivers as
here comes McDonald. We're 3 wide for the lead for a second. Handwerk now back to the inside of the 2, and McDonald now joins the fight. A 3-way battle for the lead. The 38 trying to make it 3 wide down the front straightaway. 21 to go in Rockingham. Here comes the 38. McDonald, he's side by side for second with the 2. Eric Andrews joins the fight. It's a 4-car battle for the lead. Add Andrew Gunther in there and make it a 5-car battle for the lead at Rockingham. The 2 back up to the outside. The 38 of McDonald on the inside. He's working in the tire tracks of Carl Handwerk, trying to get the lead back. But Handwerk holding that car on the inside beautifully. 20 to go at Rockingham.
That pack just keeps getting bigger and bigger as the laps continue to go down. And you know, Carl Handwerk definitely working that car to its limits, but the 38 is going on the inside. And can he get it? And at the line is going to be the 38 car of Dylan McDonald taking the lead with 19 laps to go.
What a pass from Dylan McDonald in the 38 to really read that battle and get up to the front. He bought his time to get up there. Now the 2 car goes battling with the 18. He's trying to get that lead back. And now here comes Eric Andrews. He's going to try and get to the inside of Handwork. They're side by side down the front straightaway into turn 1. And the 9 car going to now take over into 3rd. Handwork went from 1st to 4th in about a lap and a half. Definitely not what he was expecting out of that battle, but that is how it's sizzled out. And with 18 to go, we have a new unique leader, Dylan McDonald, leading his first laps of the race. So now 17 to go. Eric Andrews to the back bumper of the 2. Now, if you remember earlier on, Andrews won the race off pit road over the 2 car earlier on tonight. And he tried to take the lead off of a restart, but coming through turn 2, the 2 of Nick Nickerson made a pass to get the lead back under green. So now the 9 car wants a little bit of redemption. He's trying to now get past the 2, and he is on his inside coming through turn 2. Looks like the same story, just roles reversed, but Andrews not able to complete the pass as they make their way through 3 and 4. McDonald continues to lead. They're side by side behind for 2nd. We'll update you on 3rd and 4th now, or sorry, 4th and 5th between Handwork and Gunther. This battle is pretty much sizzled out. Hamilton now working his way in 6th, so we have a 3-car battle for the lead. We'll see if anybody else ends up joining this fight, but look at McDonald and what a race he is doing right now to try and defend behind him, as here comes the 9 of Eric Andrews. The 2 car falls to 3rd once again. Remember, the farthest he's been back tonight is 4th off of that last restart. And with 14 to go, McDonald trying to defend behind him and make sure that he's able to keep this lead. Oh my, I hear some carnage going on. I think the 2 just wrecked. The 2 is around on the back straightaway. No caution comes out. There it is. There's the yellow flag. But Nick Nickerson wrecks on the back straightaway. What on earth happened to the 2? Oh, he got loose coming through the 2nd corner, and around he goes. One of the most dominant cars of the night might have just had his race ended, getting loose through turn 2. Here's the onboard. Watch that wheel on the left side of your screen. You can hear him feathering the throttle too. Just one tap to the wall. And that's all she wrote for the 2 car. Harsh hit to the wall. But now we got to divert our attention into pit road. Who is going to make their way down pit road and who's going to stay out? Eric Andrews, Carl Handwork, stay out. McDonald in. Gunther in. Hamilton in. Crockett in. Fuller. Nickerson is also in. Butler, Evernham, Keiswetter. Dave Lohr is also going to come in the 17. So 2 cars stay out. Andrews and Handwork. They're on the oldest tires now of the race. And boy, are we going to have an exciting finish. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with the restart, caution-free to the checkered flag here on Racecraft TV. Make sure that you stick around so you don't miss it.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack with energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of Go.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end. But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form:
Focus,
Recovery.
energy
stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
And it delivers more.
Lights out atop the pace car. Welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway. And the conclusion of the Core Vintage Cup Series live here on Racecraft TV. It's been an exciting night, and the battle for the lead really heated up there. And Handwork did come down pit road while we were in commercial break, so he does have fresh tires, but he's now down in 11th. Eric Andrews, now the only car on the racetrack on old tires. Will it work out? Well, we'll just have to find out. 10 laps to go. When we go back green, it'll be 9 to go from the Rockingham Speedway. How is this race going to finish out? We're back underway here from the Rock. Andrews with a good start, but how long is that going to last? McDonald down to the inside of the 10 of Matt Crockett. Here they come, working their way through the first couple of corners. Andrews with a good turn too, but look at the speed that these fresh tires have over the old tires on the 9. McDonald into second, has his eyes set on the 9. Let's go on board as he tries to chase down Eric Andrews up ahead. 8 laps to go now as they dive back into 1. Oh, a bit of a bobble from Eric Andrews. He goes up the track. McDonald has to get out of the gas too. The car got too tight. Now into turn 3. You can see with the onboard, Andrews trying to work the inside. Same thing with McDonald, both running the same line. Andrews hits those bumps. That car gets a little bit upset, but not enough for McDonald to sneak by. McDonald continuing just to run right in the tire tracks right now of the 9, and here comes Matt Crockett, Andrew Gunther, Christopher Hamilton. This is a completely different top 5 than we've seen all night. Crockett gets loose. What a save from the 10 car. He's gonna keep it going now on the front straightaway. Falls down to 6th. The 2 of Nick Nickerson now takes over the 5th spot, and Eric Andrews leads still with 6 to go. Oh my goodness, McDonald all over the back bumper. Here comes the 59. They spin 3 cars, 4 wrecking in turn 2.
What a wreck with 6 laps to go, bringing out, I'm pretty sure, the final caution of the race, depending on what goes on now. I think we're going to check a look at the replay at that crazy crash coming on the backstretch right there. All of them was getting piled up together, and Hamilton coming from the back and then just completely getting knocked out. So what a wreck for the final 6 laps remaining here at Rockingham.
This changes everything. This was a completely different top 5 than we have seen all night. And it just looks like the 59 tried to go for a gap that just wasn't there. And that looks like it just caused the chain of events wreck there. You can see him. He tried to go down the inside. I think he might have thought he could get to that gap before they had to make the corner. But everything just happened a little bit too quickly. So now we currently are working on lap number 97. Looks like we are planning to go back to racing into a green-white checkered attempt, which means that we are going to take the green flag. Next lap will be the white flag, and then, of course, the checkered flag will come out. Once they make it to that white flag lap, the race will be determined official, and the race will be ending. under the checkered flag. But if a caution comes out on that green flag lap, we'll rack them up again and have another go at it. As we're once again glad you joined us here on Racecraft TV, as it has been an exciting night here in the Core Vintage Cup Series. We're glad all of you are here tonight tuning in. Make sure you tune in a week from tonight, February 22nd, at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's the Holly Farms 125. And racing is always exciting at North Wilkesboro, especially in these classic NASCAR Winston Cup Series cars. So make sure you are there to tune in for it. And we will be ending this race in overtime in a green-white checkered first attempt of the night. Lap number 98 of 100 now, and we're going to most likely go to 101. So we're going to go one lap over the scheduled distance tonight. And Jordan, now the two cars back up here. Handwork sitting back in 6th. Looking at this, I'll just go top 5 because it seems like anybody in that top 5 has a chance to get this win. Who are you seeing out of this top 5 that has the best chance to win?
You know, Dylan McDonald has been very dominant all night long. As you saw in that wreck, he made it out surprisingly really well. So from what I've seen tonight, I personally think he will make it out on top. But you also got Nick Nickerson in 3rd place behind the 59 car of Andrew Gunther. So I'm going to keep my eyes on the 38 of Dylan McDonald as we come down to the final few laps here at Rockingham.
And the lights are going to go out on that iRacing.com pace car, so we will end up going one lap over onto 101, assuming, of course, a caution doesn't come out on this final lap. But your top 5, McDonald, Gunther, Nickerson, Butler, Crockett, these top 5 all have a chance to win. And I'd even throw in Carl Handwork in the 6 back there in the 18. He has a lot of work to do in 2 laps, but I would not put it past Handwork to have a chance at this win. Well, here we go. Dylan McDonald leading the way in the 38. Andrew Gunther in 2nd. These are your top 2 as we're getting ready to go back to racing. Can McDonald hold on to get his first win of the season? In 2 rounds, we have had 2 different winners. Both of those winners are sitting in 6th and 12th. We have a great opportunity for a 3rd unique winner of the season. The iRacing pace car pulls into pit lane. The first attempt at a green-white checkered. Time to bring the action from Rockingham. Great start for Dylan McDonald in the 38. He grabs an early lead. The 2 car going to try and work around the 59 for the 2nd position. But McDonald looking to put them in check and pull away from the field. Into turn 3, the 59 trying to hold up the 2 car all he can. And as they come back onto the front straightaway, the 2 tries to look to the inside. That's the battle for 2nd. This is the battle for the lead. Final lap from Rockingham one more time around. The 38 of Dylan McDonald. He has not led a single lap tonight. He regains the lead in that last green flag run. And now on the final restart in green-white checkered conditions, he comes out of turn 4. Dylan McDonald wins at Rockingham. What a race and what a win for the 38 car. An unbelievable way to finish this race. And Dylan McDonald, who came into tonight 12th in points, is going to have a win on the board and lock himself into the playoffs as well. Enjoy the celebration here on Racecraft TV. Your winner, Dylan McDonald in the 38. The celebration after a 100-lap marathon from the Rockingham Speedway. We previewed tonight as how difficult this track is to get right. McDonald got it right when it mattered. We'll take a look at the full results from tonight's race. And an incredible one at that here from the Rockingham Speedway. Dylan McDonald grabs the win. Andrew Gunther in second. Nick Nickerson, who we thought was the favorite all night, he led so many laps under green. He takes third place. Carl Handwerk in fourth. Matt Crockett fifth. Paul Butler sixth. Anthony Keiswetter in seventh. Eric Andrews eighth. Christopher Hamilton ninth, with Willie Evernham rounding out your top 10. Then it's Dave Lohr, Wesley Fuller, James Perschalski, Brock Varese, Jimmy Covert, and Mark Thomas. Unfortunately, a rough end for Mark Thomas tonight in the 50. He finishes in 16th. But what a night here from the Rockingham Speedway. And we're going to grab an interview with your winner, Dylan McDonald. An amazing effort from him tonight to grab the win. And we'll bring him up here into the Racecraft TV booth. And he joins us now. Dylan McDonald, what a race for you tonight. Just talk about just that overall race for you, because we didn't really see you up front really until it mattered, but you were up there in contention for the win towards the end, which you only need to lead one lap, and it's the last lap, and I believe your laps led is in the single digits for tonight at Rockingham.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I just had to play my cards right, save my equipment, and run down Nick Nickerson, because, I mean, that dude was on a rocket all night. Same with Carl, and it paid off at the end. That's all that really matters. It paid off at the end, and I'm very thankful.
Now, this track is so difficult, especially in these cars that are already difficult, but you put these cars on this track and it makes a combo that is so difficult to get right, but you did that really when it mattered. Just talk about how difficult it was to make sure those tires didn't get too hot, make sure that they weren't too abrasive on the racing surface, because it looked like a handful from in the broadcast booth. I can't imagine it from inside the car.
Oh yeah, my arms are jello right now. I mean, the track was super bumpy for one. If you got on the brakes too hard, you were pitching the back end out, and it just made it very hard to control the car. But as long as you didn't hit the brakes hard, and you actually kept it nice and fluent throughout the whole corner, it would work out for you. And after running practice and watching everybody else run, I knew where I wanted to put my car, which is down on the bottom, and not let that go. There for a while, I couldn't get to the bottom, but once I did, I was glued. I was not coming off the bottom for anything.
Now, next week, we head to North Wilkesboro, another classic NASCAR track, and it's another track that is really designed for these classic cars. So this is a bit of a two-part question. First one is, how excited are you to be running these 1980s Cup cars around the famous North Wilkesboro Speedway? And are you confident at North Wilkesboro that you can have another, maybe a win or a good points day there?
North Wilkesboro is actually pretty fun, especially in the 87s. You just got to watch coming out of turn 2 with the grass and everything. Can't throttle up as hard as you want to. But I hope it does carry over next week. I had a really good week 1. Ended up getting into Willie Evernham on the final lap as a racing incident. And last week at Darlington, I got caught up in a lot of wrecks. And tonight finished out with a podium and got into victory lane. So I can't be more proud of myself, and proud of everybody in Core for being such brotherly love, and we're all like a tight-knit family. We all understand each other of what's going on, and they understand what everybody's trying to race for, and that's like true family to me.
Anyone else you would like to thank here on Racecraft TV?
Oh, you guys, especially Racecraft, putting up the broadcast, Raise Energy, Joker Graphics. Want to shout out Eric Andrews, for helping me out through last season and this season, helping me get to where I need to be on racing. Want to thank TJR over on team side of things. My mom, my dad, all the family, and everybody that's out there watching. And hopefully we can go get us another checker next week.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here in the booth. Dylan McDonald, your winner here from Rockingham. And that's going to do it for us here on Racecraft TV. But make sure you tune in. 1 week from tonight, we'll head to North Wilkesboro with these classic NASCAR Winston Cup Series cars. For Jordan Hicks, I am Joshua Lee. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you again. We're saying good night from the virtual Rockingham.